is going on, YouTube? Crobat for the win here today with a GBA match versus Gubstacular on YouTube. He's a pretty cool guy, so you go check his channel out. As I said, this was a GBA match, and I brought some of the same Pokemon as last week's battle versus Tom. This is a match against the Arizona Deoxys, of course, and he brought a Skarmory, Nidoking, the bane of my existence, of course, a Togekiss, and a super annoying Conkeldurr, what's that thing called, a Gastrodon, and a Roserade. I brought Staraptor, Jolteon, and Chandelure, Gliscor, Mega Aggron, and Gyarados. So we're going to jump into this match, expecting it to be pretty intense. He has some big threats on that side. Conkeldurr is the thing I'm definitely most scared of. I'm going to just tell you now, later in the match, I'm going to be really stupid and forget that I already KO'd Gastrodon, his ground type, so I'm going to not use electric moves for a while. Yeah, that might cost me the match. I'm not going to spoil anything. All I know is he leads with Roserade. I go for the U-turn, predicting his switch, and he goes into Skarmory. But as I was saying with that, I made a stupid play as a coach. It's not my guys' fault. They're all good. They all did good things. But I'm not going to... We'll worry about that later. He, of course, goes into Gastrodon because he fears the fire-type move, but I go for the energy ball, predicting his Gastrodon switch, which is amazing, except it doesn't quite KO, and that's awful. Wow! Chandelure, you gotta put in more work than that. You gotta KO those things. You have base 145 or something special attack. How could you not KO that thing? Well, he goes into Togekiss, which is pretty bad, because that takes the energy ball pretty well. Here, I decided to go into Gyarados, because I figure he could take it on pretty well. And if he had the Paralyze, I figure that's the only thing on my team. I wouldn't mind taking the Paralyze. He gets a Dazzling Gleam off, which is not going to do that much, because my Gyarados is super bulky. Now he gets an Air Slash off, which is kind of bad. I'm just going to get the Thunder Wave, though, so I guess it's not too bad, since he didn't actually get the the Flinch Hacks, that's what they call it. I get the Parahacks off on him, which is good. That's a Paralyze, that's a Togekiss, that's really crippled. I get the Waterfall off, because I really just want to see how much it does. I'm not expecting it to do too much, and his Air Slash does the same amount, practically. I really don't want to lose Gyarados, or have it at really low health right now, so I'm just going to switch on out of there. I know that thing's paralyzed, so I can take it on pretty easily. I'm going to decide to go into Jolteon right here, which is a pretty good play, considering he's going to go right out into Gastrodon, which is at such a low health. Hopefully, just maybe I can KO it right here. That would be really cool. Except he switches out. So I guess I can't do that. Really? He's going to go into this thing, though, which is going to take my Hidden Power Ice not all that well. That's going to be an easy 2-hit KO. Now he's going to have to switch again, and he goes into this Conkeldurr, which is going to take a little bit from the Hidden Power Ice. Take a little bit, but I'm going to have to switch out. I don't want to deal with that thing right now. That would not be a good thing. I'm going to just get the Gyarados switch just so I can get the Intimidate, and I know I can also tank a Drain Punch of some kind. That would be good as well. Gyarados is good at walling everything, except when he has Rock Slide. Didn't exactly see that coming, but oh well. That's life. Alright, I go into Gliscor now. I mean, I probably should have switched there, but I know Gliscor can get a knockoff off. That would be very helpful against something on his team. It's going to knock off the Skarmory, so it's not going to get leftovers anymore, and more readily not going to have Sturdy, which is awesome. He decides to go for a Whirlwind as I switch in Chandelure. Then I go into this Jolteon, which is going to be uber awesome, as I'm going to go for the Shadow Ball to KO his Gastrodon. Now here, halfway through the match, I completely forgot that I KO'd his Gastrodon. Well, he also has Nidoking, I guess, too. I'm fearing the Scarf on this thing, but I did forget that I KO'd his Gastrodon, which is going to come back to haunt me later. Now, he's going to go for the Earthquake with that Nidoking, and he's going to switch out, which implies he just might be Scarfed, so I have to keep that in the back of my mind. He goes into Skarmory, which is going to take that. It's going to take 3 damage from that. I go into Chandelure now. I know that I could just hit anything on his team for good damage, including this Togekiss. Fire Blast is going to take it down all the way to yellow health, after leftovers anyways. It's paralyzed, I know I can outspeed, but nope! Missing the Fire Blast since today. Really? Really, game? Really? You had to miss a Fire Blast when it counted like that. I've already, playing under I already forgot the I KO'd Gastrodon, yet you had to do that. but I guess the game kind of makes up for it because he gets a pair of hacks right there. And I hit 2 more Fire Blasts in a row, but it's just wasted 1 PP, which is something that is, well, nothing I really wanted. This thing is few enough power points as is. Here he goes into Nidoking, and I thought maybe he'd predict my switch or not go for the Earthquake, so he goes for the Rock Slide, and I knew I could live one of those. I ended up going for another attack, getting a lot of damage on Nidoking. I actually ran out of Fire Blast right there, so I kind of had to switch out. He ends up going for the Leaf Storm. I thought he would go for the Sleep Powder. Unfortunately, he didn't. Gliscor ends up dying to that Leaf Storm. That's awful. That is just the worst thing in the world. Awful. Here, I go into Jolteon to get rid of the Hidden Power Ice, or get off the Hidden Power Ice. It's going to KO Nidoking. No questions asked. So that's just Nidoking. Have a great day. I know you should be on my team, but Gubs stole it, so oh well. He's going to go into Conkeldurr, which is going to be the bane of my existence right now. It's just awful. And then he gets a payback off, like a champ, and he's going to predict this switch. Wow! That was a good play, actually. Good job. Now I'm going to go into Staraptor, because I figured I could get some serious damage off on something, maybe even Skarmory with Choice Band and Reckless and everything, and it actually does a pretty okay amount, considering that's a Skarmory. Can't complain too much there. Here I go into Jolteon, and now this is going to be the worst part right here, because let's just say I completely forgot that I KO'd his Gastrodon at this point in the battle, so I'm just going to go for Shadow Balls. This is awful. I feel so stupid. I should have written it down, and I forgot to. Oh, gosh. There's really not much to say here. He's going to end up switching. He goes into Conkeldurr, which is not going to take too much from that Shadow Ball, considering it's not stabbed or anything. If I had gone for Thunderbolt, obviously that Skarmory would have been gone. I should have gone for Thunderbolt, of course. But I'm stupid like that. I forgot to write it down. Oh well. That's life sometimes. So Conkeldurr is just going to obliterate this Staraptor, so I'm almost out of this game. I don't know if I'm going to be able to win. I was in... Oh, wow. I don't know what to describe it as, but I was in almost shock that I forgot. And I thought I was going to lose. I don't know. We'll see. I end up Mega Evolving Mega Aggron and going for the Iron Head. He gets a Drain Punch off, which doesn't actually do too much, just since... Of course, I have the defense of the Great Wall of China. I get another Iron Head off as he goes into Skarmory. It's unfortunate, but I know that he's probably just going to roost, so I'm just going to get the Thunder Wave off. Thunder Wave is going to be very important, hopefully, and maybe being able to win this game, because I know if I can win this, I need the Thunder Wave, the pair hacks. I end up going for Stone Edge and getting a crit. I kind of hoped he would Whirlwind, but he didn't, so I'm going to have to switch out. I don't want him to set up spikes, so I go in a Jolteon. That's pretty okay, actually. He gets a Roost off. I know that it's 3-2 at this point. In re-narrating this battle, I know he has Roserade. Of course, you see it right there. Skarmory and Conkeldurr. And once again, I think at this point, I had realized that he doesn't have any ground types. And I was being really, really stupid at that point. Of course. So that was a kind of interesting thing. Now he finally goes for that Sleep Powder on my Mega Aggron, because the Volt Switch didn't quite KO that Roserade. If I had gone for Thunderbolt, it might have. Well, that's life sometimes. Of course, he KOs himself due to Life Orb. That's amazing. That's great. That's awesome. Now, Mega Aggron sitting in here, all alone. It's going to go into Conkeldurr, which has just a sliver of health left. He gets a Mach Punch off. Or, no, not Conkeldurr's sliver health. I have a sliver health. Mach Punch is going to KO, though. That thing, this is going to be the closest calc I've ever had. He's not going to go for the Mach Punch. Thunderbolt KOs Assault Vest Conkeldurr. So that was basically Choice Specs Jolteon versus Assault Vest Conkeldurr. Now my only obstacle is this what's it called? Skarmory with Sturdy. But he gets the pair hacks. And he gets no attack off. That I somehow ended up winning that game. After making such a stupid mistake. I could have won it so many turns earlier by just going for Thunderbolt. Oh well, I guess that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. But at least it was a victory for the LA Nidokings. I personally need to re-examine my conscience after that whole game. My guys out in the field, or in the playing field, they did well. Jolteon especially getting +5 on the day, which is +8 over the first 2 weeks. That's unheard of. It hasn't fainted either. So I'm giving another MVP trophy to Jolteon for week 2. It's also now in the lead for KOs for the week. I'm about 99% sure of that, anyways. Because I haven't seen all the stats, but if there were any as groundbreaking as +5 from Jolteon, I'm sure I would have heard about them. Alrighty. Once again, I have a hoarse voice today. Sorry about that. That's just about it for today, though. I'll have another match in the next few days, a normal one. It's just not GBA. Once again, that's it. Rate, comment, subscribe, brobats, and peace out.